All right, here is a look at the FansToys Iron Dibots. I believe this is, let's see what number this is, FT-05 SOAR, their version of Swoop. And it's kind of hard to get back far enough to get him. He's got a very impressive wingspan here in Dinosaur mode. Now, the stand that he's on is not something I put together. He actually does come with this really nice, it comes in two parts, you put it together stand. Basically, you just plug the stand into the base. It can hold his sword. It's just really, really nice. And it's nice to see that included. It works in both Dinosaur and Robot mode, which is really cool as well. And he does come with a couple of option parts, and I'll show those off briefly. I don't know if I'm going to swap them out on camera. But just to show you, like, he's got these chrome wings on him, these very shiny chrome wings with a few paint apps, a couple of wires here, and as well as the chrome on the head. But he also comes with a set of wings that are painted silver, that they aren't shiny chrome, and I think the painted silver does help bring out some of the details in the wings more than the shiny chrome, especially under brighter lights. You get a lot more shadow, and all of this tech detailing really comes out a lot better under bright light than the chrome does. Now, if you watch my videos, you know that I generally dislike chrome, and I mention that a lot, and I've gotten some complaints about why do you mention that every single time something with chrome comes out. And part of that is just because not everybody watches every single one of my videos, so I like to have that caveat out in front of it. So if I ever say that, like, hey, you know, like, I'm not a big fan of this chrome, somebody else might be a big fan of chrome, and I just want them to know that, like, I want people to know that if I'm saying, well, I dislike the chrome, that's my personal preference, just to have that out there. So if I ever ding something for, you know, like, I wish it had less chrome, that's my personal preference. Some people love chrome, some people think it looks great, and yay, good for them. I just like to clarify that when I talk about a toy with chrome as to whether I like it or not, just so they know that's my personal preference in the review versus this chrome is poorly done. I don't think I've handled a toy in a while that's had really poorly done chrome. I'm just not a big fan of it. However, that being said, I think the chrome actually works on this guy, and I don't know what specifically changed. I actually got a couple toys with chrome parts in today that I'm reviewing. The other one being the new Continuum Hexatron, and I'm kind of digging the chrome on both of them for different reasons. I couldn't tell you what makes this on Swoop different. I just feel like it looks a lot more coherent altogether. Let's bring him down here. With the chrome wings. He's got some shiny gold bits on him as well. And yeah, it looks good. And with the base part being chrome still, even if you swap out the wings at the joint, there's still going to be a little bit of chrome. I think it just looks a little bit more coherent. And it looks nice. It makes him a big shiny bird. And for whatever reason, I know that that's kind of a change in stance for me, but I actually kind of dig the chrome on this. I might swap out the wings. I'm definitely going to swap them out at some point to see what they look like, but I think either option on the wings is going to look really nice on him. But the stock chrome actually looks pretty decent. The chrome head here, you actually get, you see there's like some red plastic, I don't know if you can see up under his jaw there. The red plastic piece up here under his jaw. And there's 3 screws in there, and you can unscrew those and pull this gold piece off. And if you want, you can give him a translucent beak on top of that to make it look like the old G1 toy with the red underneath it. Again, I don't want to unscrew toys on camera, just because it's delicate work and all that. But yeah, you get all those extra parts on top of the figure itself, along with the base and everything. A really nice package, packed really well. It comes in like a 3-tiered styrofoam tray, which is a really nice packing job. So, all that being said, let's get him down and show him off, because he actually is a pretty decent Swoop. So he's got a sword here, which I thought I brought my batteries. I could have sworn I put them in my bag, and when I got here, I cannot find them. They are very tiny batteries. It's possible they're sitting in there somewhere. I may have lost them. I don't know. They may still be sitting at home. Maybe I just completely forgot that I did not actually put them in my work bag. But you just unscrew these screws, and you can put the batteries in, and his sword will light up with this little button on the bottom, just like it did on Scoria. So yeah, so like I said, this just plugs in right under here, and you just lift him up. Come on. There we go, just pull him off the base, And the base does, like I said, it's a solid base. This piece does hinge a little bit so you can get him in some flying action diving poses and things like that. So let's come on down here and look at SOAR himself. With his shiny, shiny wings. See if we can get a little, get a little warmer focus here on him. So yeah, he's nice, he's hefty, he's got a lot of die cast in him. His lower legs are all die cast. I think these feet are die cast, which is why the gold looks a slightly different shade than the chromed pieces up here. His arms, some die cast up here in his upper shoulders, his chest. It makes for a nice hefty swoop. One of the things, the wings are jointed in several places for posing. The missile launchers can come off. They do have the little piece here reminiscent of the launcher on the old G1 swoop, because these were launching missiles. The missiles here on this don't launch. They're just solid missile launchers. They do have a little peg here that can flip down to turn them into handheld weapons as well. So go ahead and pop those off real quick. And what's cool too is his neck joint. He's got you can see that clicky ratcheting neck joint up here, as well as it's got a side-to-side hinge. So even when he's in bird mode or in pteranodon mode, you can turn his head from side to side, which is really nice. You'll notice there's a little piece missing right here, and that's like over here. It's just a little piece inside of his head that locks the dinosaur head to his robot head, so it doesn't come apart when you're moving it. That was already loose from earlier, but like I found, aside from a minor aesthetic bump just from not having it over here, it doesn't affect the locking mechanism at all. So that was nice. When I first saw it was missing, I was like, oh no, but it still locks on and holds just fine. So yeah, there he is. There's his chest. Blue chest with some red detailing. I think they might be releasing a red version later, kind of like they did. The pre-orders just went up for the toy version of Scoria as well. But yeah. Got little posable feet, so you can move his legs. These little hinges can come down. You can pose his feet down here. And that's really about all there is to dinosaur mode. I'm going to transform him. Go ahead and close his beak here. You want to make sure that also there's a specific point in the instructions that you want to have these flaps folded up this way for when you close up the legs. So if they're not, a little bit of styrofoam still in there. His feet rotate a little bit like this, so you can get him in some. Get some range of motion in his dinosaur legs as well. But the unpeg these peg in right up here. You just unpeg the legs here. I'm gonna fold that down. I'll make sure these are folded up like this, because you bring the legs down, fold the foot up, pull this tab down. The legs come down and around. She might need to fold that down for robot mode. And when you fold up his legs, there's two hinges here. Here's his robot knee hinge, and there's a hinge up here. This is the hinge you want to fold down to fold the legs up to dino mode. If you fold it at this upper hinge here, they won't go as far as they should to tab in. So make sure you've got that. You're folding at this one. This one's a slightly stiffer joint than this, so you may have to kind of work it, but you do want to fold it at that joint. So bring the legs down. You bring this whole assembly down, and it kind of folds up here like this. Okay. There you go, like that. So this kind of slides up to fill in this gap here at the waist. Fold this dinosaur foot all the way flat forward, and then these little hinges fold down to lock the dinosaur foot in place in robot mode. And that basically locks all of this assembly together, so when you move his leg, you're only moving it at that knee hinge, which is nice. And there's one on the inside as well, so you fold those down on both sides. And then you see this piece now, aside from tabbing into these two slots, also tabs into his upper hip to lock that whole upper thigh piece together. Yeah, some really clever engineering to keep the dinosaur foot actually, you don't need a separate foot for dinosaur mode. It actually is the one in the legs, but it still gives it some articulation more than the G1 toy did. So we'll go ahead and lock this foot in over here. And that's the legs pretty much done. You come under here, lift this back panel up. Most of the leg is die cast, this back panel is plastic. So you flip this up and fold his foot down and out. Now, there's a little heel piece here That one came out fairly easier this time. But the first couple times it was very, very tight. You fold this heel piece all the way back. And when they say, like, when you fold the foot down, take it and instructions specifically say to push the foot back so it sits a little further back like that. You want the leg to kind of come down right to the front of the angle on the foot. That gives him a little bit more heel stability and lets him stand easier. So open this up. See if we can get this heel piece out. This is the one that was tighter earlier. I mean, I need to get a tool to get that out. You're moving. There we go. Almost pulled my thumb off. My thumb fingernail off there. There is a little screw right here you can loosen as well if it's just too tight. So yeah, push the foot back. Basically, you see there's a hinge there. You want to get it so that little piece sits in the foot like that. So do it here too. Bend it up there. Make sure that whole hinge collapses down to the foot. And there he is. And then on the upper body here, you come up here. The wings kind of pull back a little bit. And then you fold them. Fold this piece in, fold that piece down, fold the wing tip in, and fold this whole upper piece back. Now on the chest piece, there's actually outer chest pieces. You want to kind of open them up. See, there's a little tab in here. You want to open them up a little at a slight angle like this, and vice versa when going back. Open those up and then slide the chest pieces out like that, and then open these the rest of the way up. Like that. And then the dinosaur neck folds down into the body, and then you unhook the tabs on either side, fold his head down, and then that tab just folds inside to hide completely. And there's his head. He's got a smiling face on right now. We'll get it to his alternate face here in a moment. The arms, you extend down and rotate. Come here. This one does not want to extend. Come here, you. There we go. And then you come under here, open up this panel, and flip out his hand. And there he is in robot mode. See if we can get a little more of him in frame here. Now, like I said, you can open these up. You can tab these into his hand as hand weapons, or you can leave this up there and just peg them onto his wings the way you generally see Swoop. I'm going to peg him up here just because I like that. You can hold his sword in his hand. He's got individually articulated fingers. The thumb is just one single piece on a ball joint. The fingers all have the standard knuckle articulation here. So you open up his hand. So you see you got some very poseable hands there. You pop a sword in. There's a little groove here on a sword. I make sure it's facing the right way. You want this notch to be at the back for it to fit in his hand properly. And then you just wrap his fingers around it. And there he is with his sword. He's got nice articulation. He's got a ball-jointed neck here. Lets him look around. He's got hinge and a swivel at the shoulder. He's got a bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows. He does have a wrist swivel, the articulated fingers. No waist swivel, again, because of the way this beak comes all the way down. At least not that I've seen. Maybe does it swivel? Okay, it does actually swivel if you lift the head up a little bit. Again, a little hard to do with the beak down, but you can do it. Oh, also flip up his dinosaur tail that folds up onto his back there. If you don't want him to hold his sword, there is a peg on the inside of the sword here, and that can peg right here into his back. So if you just want to have him displayed like that, you can take the sword and plug it right in there. Even at an angle if you want to either side, so you can stow a sword across his back, which is kind of cool too. Now his face, you can actually come up here, lift his face up, and rotate it. That was his happy face. See if I can get this to spin here. It's just a matter of getting leverage on it. And you can spin it around and give him a more stoic face if you wish. Entirely up to you. And on the bottom here, you'll see the peg and tab. Right here where his tail, there's a gap there, which fits onto the peg and tab here on the stand. Just like that. And you can have him flying in robot mode as well. And you can pose him however you want in this, on the stand. And like I said, let me see if I can get a slightly better angle here on this. There we go. So once he's pegged on, he comes off fairly easily. He does stay on there. I wouldn't turn it upside down and shake it, but you can kind of rotate if you want him to be kind of flying forward. You can angle him like that. Get some, so, you know, point his feet. Have him look up. So you can get some really cool flying poses out of him on this stand that are very secure. So yeah, all in all, he's a really nice figure. I'm really happy with him. It's a very nice representation of Swoop. And he should be, I believe he's on the way to stores now. You should be seeing him start to hit retailers in the next week or so. I think Hong Kong retailers should be getting him soon. But I believe he's on the way to all of the major outlets. So you should be seeing him soon. A very nice Swoop, a very nice effort from FansToys. Thank you very much for letting me show this one off, because very cool. I think Swoop might be my second favorite Dinobot behind Snarl, so being able to play with him here is cool.